There's just something about seeing a show in a smaller venue or a smaller theater. I've seen my share of arena concerts, the Rolling Stones, Grateful Dead, Bruce Springsteen, U2, Fleetwood Mac, The Police, the Moody Blues, going back a long time. I saw Aretha Franklin at Radio City Music Hall. I saw a seriously spiritual Roseanne Cash show at Carnegie Hall in 2015. Lots of jazz performances in halls created specifically for that genre in New York City and other places. I saw Melissa Manchester and Don McLean at supper clubs. I could kick myself for waiting until Les Paul died before ever going to the Iridium. I don't know what I was thinking. I've seen Jeff Tweedy, Mellencamp, Willie Nelson, Dead and Company, Chicago, Wolf Brothers, Ricky Skaggs, Psychedelic Furs, Tedeschi Trucks Band, Avett Brothers, Steve Earle, Margot Price, all in smaller theaters and amphitheaters. I really dig outdoor concerts. Nothing better than getting a nice buzz in whatever way you prefer and sitting in the sunshine listening to live music. Of all the different settings, I have to say that smaller venues are superior. Sports arenas are just not built for optimal musical enjoyment. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll go see Dead and Company anywhere. And their shows at Fenway 2 years ago were spectacular. But that's, I think, because it was Fenway and the Dead. The Stones at the Browns Stadium in Cleveland last summer were really great. And Springsteen can bring down the house no matter how large, but I still think it's more fun to be closer to the performers. So I decided at the very last minute, 2 weekends ago, to drive 2 and a bit hours to see King Cool himself, Donnie Iris. He's a regional fan favorite if you live in Western Pennsylvania and Eastern Ohio or the area. I don't live quite that close, thus the 2+ hours drive. I saw Donnie and the Cruisers perform for the first time last spring in Erie, Pennsylvania at the Warner Theater. It's a beautiful venue. It's got a grand 2-story lobby, gorgeous plasterwork and chandeliers, and old-fashioned in a good way. I decided 2 weekends ago to go to Ohio because the dude is in his 80s. And after Tom Petty died, I kind of made a pact with myself to see as many shows by older performers as possible before I can't anymore. Donnie Iris and the Cruisers are an Erie sort of hometown favorite. The show did not disappoint. He survived cancer, had to cancel an 80th birthday celebration due to treatment. But holy fucking shit, does he still sound good. He can hit those high notes on Aaliyah just as well as he did 40 years ago, although it obviously takes a little more out of him now. The show was only about an hour and a half long, but very satisfying. So when I read that he was doing a PA Ohio swing this winter and early spring, I figured why not go see him one more time just to be safe. So at 5 o'clock, I got in the car and headed west for the drive to Ohio. I wasn't sure I should go by myself. I'm still trying to get over this thing where I kind of wait around for other people to join me in my musical adventures. I need to get more brave. And as I talked and wrote almost a year ago about this, I'm working on it. I'm getting better. I was treated to the most spectacular show in the sky as the sun was setting off to the west. Brilliant blazing orange, pinks, purples, illuminated grays. My mom would have called it a Lenten sky, even though it's technically not Lent yet. Still cold and wintry, but inching towards spring, lighter out a little bit later every day. My favorite time of day has always been the gloaming, the golden hour, and so last Saturday night was a gift. If I hadn't decided at the last minute to just get a move on, I would have missed it. So I guess that was a message from the universe that it was the right move. I was worried I might miss the beginning of the concert, but I did not. Luckily, most concerts start late. I had plenty of time to get my Yingling tall boy and popcorn, $7 total. Another bonus to seeing shows in smaller venues is you don't get gouged for concessions. I always try to select seats on the aisle and preferably not near any other people because I like to stand up and dance. And this is a much easier task for a show at a small venue than in an arena. I was lucky to get a good seat, even at the last minute, a little more than halfway back, stage right on the aisle, no one else in my row. I hate to see empty seats at shows, but it was convenient for me. I think I was on the younger age spectrum than most in the audience, but there were some people younger than I. The Robbins Theater in Warren, Ohio is one of those lovely old theaters that were built in smaller cities across the country back during the vaudeville era, and many have been restored and brought back to their former glory. This theater holds 1,400 people, and I'd say there were a good 1,000 people at this show. It had a small lobby with red carpeting, beautiful carved woodwork, panels on the walls lit to appear like Palladian windows, a proscenium stage, relief work on the arched ceiling from which hangs a magnificent chandelier, a balcony and mezzanine with a carved wood balustrade. The sound was fantastic, not too loud, better for older ears. Donnie and the crew took the stage about 7:50. He was in really good form, sporting a Guardians jersey, talking to the audience, getting down on his knees at the front of the stage for those falsetto parts. Almost no break, just a solid hour and 40-minute show. The only break he really kind of took was when he sat off to the side of the stage when Joe Vitale Jr., son of Joe Vitale Sr., former bandmate of Joe Walsh's, took center stage to play a really killer version of Rocky Mountain Way, which is a song that was co-written by Vitale Sr. and Walsh. They did it justice. The show opened with Agnes, Donnie asking the audience if they remembered it, and everyone cheering enthusiastically and responding with, "We love you, Donnie." Next up was Do You Compute? I love that song. Followed by Tough World, Sweet Merrily, Pretender, The Rocky Mountain Way, a rousing rendition of Knock on Wood, then Ridin' Thunder, then a little break for a polka, which the audience loved. A scorching cover of Cab Calloway's Minnie the Moocher, a little Wild Cherry next with Play That Funky Music, the classic Love is Like a Rock with a great back and forth, the audience singing the chorus, and then the showstopper. Donnie in the middle of the dark stage with the spotlight only on him, a slowed tempo guitar intro, everyone singing as he delivered a deliberately unrushed first version of the song, and the anticipation built. He's singing the whole song along with the guitar, then the keys and the bass joined, the music swelling. Donnie's bouncing, his 81, almost 82-year-old self all over the stage as the instrumentals got faster and the bass got stronger. I mean, he's hitting those falsettos, you know. It's amazing at that age. And then all of a sudden, pow, the whole thing bursts and the audience is wild as he breaks into the version we all know and love. Leah, it's been a long, long time. You're such a sight. You're looking better than the body has a right. This freaking song never gets old. Who doesn't, can't, won't sing along at the top of their lungs to this 1980 gem? Not me. He followed that masterpiece with the Jaggers classic, The Rapper, and then segued into A Little Help from My Friends to close out the show. Fan-fucking-tastic. Ah, Leah is deeply and indelibly ingrained in my Gen X brain. I have a vivid memory of back-to-school shopping at the Mill Creek Mall in Erie, PA, circa 1981. I'm not from Erie, but it was my mom's hometown, and I still have cousins who lived there, so the city was like a second home to me. I can see and smell and hear everything in this particular memory. I was in Ormond's. Those of you who are about my age, gals, you'll probably remember shopping in Ormond's. It is a now defunct clothing store that specialized mostly in junior fashions. The racks were stuffed full of 1980s, mostly pastel colored and light colored sweaters, if I recall correctly. The store had a particular smell, a strange sort of sweetness. I don't know what it was from. Maybe from the carpet or all the plastic fashion accessories or the acrylic fibers from the sweaters. I don't know, but I can still smell it in my mind. I was 15 and strutting my bad self down the aisles, looking for something that would make a good impression on my first day of 10th grade. I was feeling particularly sassy because I was going to be a cheerleader that year. I quit the cheerleading squad the next year, but that's a story for another time. When I heard it, Western Pennsylvania hero, King Cool, Donnie Iris, Aaliyah on the store sound system. Anytime I hear a good song, no matter where I am, I kind of imagine myself as part of the song. Always have, always will. So, Natch, in my head, I was wishing I was Leah and someone was singing to me. Was there ever a song that went right to a hormonal teenager's core more than this song? The passion, the lust, the desire. Donnie Iris, such a cool nerd with his black framed glasses and 80s style primary colored suits. Adorable. 40 odd years later, 40 odd years older, I finally got to strut my bad self right into a beautiful small theater to see King Cool in person perform a song that I wished someone was singing about me. And not once, but 2 times. Lucky me. Ah, Kara. P.S. If there's a band or a singer or a performer or a group that you've always wanted to see, go. Don't wait until it's too late. You'll be happy that you went to go see them, and the memories will last forever.